There's something that I wanted to also add. During the course of the conference, and one of the talks today, we were talking. In fact, Russell brought it up. Sometimes you want to buy a property. This is legal, by the way. That's not at the moment in conditions to be transferred. That doesn't mean you can't buy it. That just means the contract has to be elaborated in such a way where the conditions of what is expected are outlined. And you could even put a time frame on it. And I will give you an example. There was a beachfront property that some clients of mine found, fell in love with it, and I was like, okay, let's do the due diligence, like we learned today. So I went ahead, I checked the title. The title belonged to a person who died, and she had 6 heirs who had not paid the inheritance tax. You follow where we're going with this? And then it seems like there was litigation on record when we got the certificate of legal registry. So
infighting from the heirs as well?
Yeah. So I went to the clients and I said, okay, these folks got a few things to do with this. It's not in conditions to be, sold at this point, or we can't transfer it. We want it. I was like, okay, so look at what we could do. We could elaborate a contract wherein we outline what needs to be done and we provide a time frame. Okay? In the meantime, the owners or the heirs agreed to give possession of the land. What is the difference between ownership and possession? We need to discuss this. Position, and here we go. Possession of the land is the person who's occupying the space. It is the person who's there. It is a person who, either by way of time that has gone by or by acquiescence by the title owner, is on the land. They're on the land, they're making use of the land, they're benefiting of the land or the property. Okay? So these folks wanted to invest, and so in the contract it was established that they would take possession of the property so as to go ahead and start work on the property while the title owners were working on all that they had to do. So this is, well, I get it, but what I'm trying to say is that under legal supervision, because they don't lose their money, because if at the end of the day the owner doesn't deliver, they get their money back. So the risk is on the side of the seller. They have to do what the contract stipulates, or they lose the money.
But is that money in escrow or in their bank account?
No, it's in their bank account, but they're signing away the right to the property. Right. Meaning, if I don't provide what I'm supposed to in the time frame, this is canceled out. It passes on to you, and the new title is born in the name of the people they sold to through a process. So what I'm trying to say is, if under legal supervision, this can be done, and it has been done. Now, I don't particularly recommend it, but there are people who want to go ahead with it for whatever reason, sentimental value, they want this. They just get to a point where they don't want to get out of it. So now you have to do a very detailed contract wherein these specifications are outlined, okay? So, anything is possible if you want it, you just have to go through the legal channels.
We had one example during the pandemic that one of the two parties passed away for whatever reason or how in the middle of a purchase and sale or promise of sale before the closing date. So it had to go through what I call probate So instead, they went into a rental agreement for a period of time before the closing date. It could be for $1 a month or something, if they were paying any money, that they would get so much back at the end. But it was, again, a contract with timeframes and stipulations, because one party had to go back to France, and the other buyers didn't want to leave. So.